Hello and welcome to Who Would Win in a Fight. In today's episode, I'd like to discuss Marvin Hagler and Gennady Golovkin. Now, when I was thinking about doing this video, part of me was thinking, well, what's the point? The winner is obvious, it's Marvin Hagler. But as I got to thinking, watching old clips and doing a little bit of research, I don't think the result is as obvious as it initially seemed. Now, Marvin Hagler, one of the best middleweight champions in history, regarded, many comments said about him always have the caveat that he's underrated, which I think is nonsense. I don't know anyone who underrates Marvin Hagler for the champion that he was. He had 12 defences in an era when a defence was a defence. There was no messing. He was 5'9.5". He had a 75-inch reach, which surprised me. It's quite a long reach. Now, his boxing record was 62 fights. He had 52 by knockout. He had 62 wins, 52 of them by knockout. He had 3 losses, and he had 2 draws. Golovkin, on the other hand, he's had 37 professional fights, 30 wins by knockout. In comparison to Hagler, he's 5'10.5", so there's only an inch in a difference. But I think what might be important is he's only got a 70-inch reach, which surprised me. So in a matchup between two middleweights, one's got a distinct reach advantage, and that's Hagler. And I'm surprised. I thought Golovkin would have had a longer reach. So far, Golovkin's undefeated record includes 17 title defences. Now, you can argue, and maybe rightly so, that there is no one on Golovkin's record that Hagler wouldn't beat. And I think that's a fair count. But can you say the same about Hagler's record? There's a couple of guys he fought that if they weren't going to beat Golovkin, guys like John Mugabe, even tough guys like Benny Briscoe, and even Sugar Ray Leonard, maybe they mightn't have beaten Golovkin. I know a lot of people who say Ray Leonard would have. They mightn't have beaten Golovkin, but they would have given him a world of trouble. Guys like John Mugabe might have taken a decision, be it split or unanimous, but they would have given Golovkin all manners of trouble. I mean, and in fairness to Mugabe, he gave Hagler enough of it as well. And many people regard the Hagler-Mugabe fight as the one where the writing was on the wall for Hagler, and Leonard spotted the flaws in his game. Now, Hagler, he was a southpaw, but he was well able to switch hit, and to his detriment, he switched hit it against Leonard instead of just fighting southpaw from the first bell to the last. I think that's where a lot of people think he lost the fight. He didn't stick to what he was best. He was good, very good fighting the orthodox stance, but he was measurably better when he fought out of the southpaw stance. And I think if he'd have fought southpaw against Leonard from the word go, I think he would have won. Now, again, a lot of people think that's a very controversial decision, and I'm not going to deny that, but you can make the case that Leonard won it. And you got to give props to Leonard. He does land, often. He does land clearly. He doesn't do. I don't think he does as much running as people think he does. Hagler maybe took him lightly, and maybe that's why. Maybe if there had been a rematch, Hagler might have went in with a different mindset and just went southpaw from the get-go. You can even see the first round against John Mugabe, he fought orthodox, and he switched up from the second round, and straight away he was just a much more effective boxer. He was good on the inside and he was very good on the outside, but again, it was the tough guy in many ways coming out in him. He knew he could trust his chin, it wasn't going to let him down. Very seldom he ever got rocked, so he could risk trading on the inside, even with big punchers, and there was a lot of them back then. But again, he also very good on the outside, but I don't think he fought on the outside enough. There are some fights he could have made a lot easier, but again, a bit of the macho man and the fact that he trusted his chin so much to hold up. And in recent interviews with him, he's got all his senses intact. Comes across as a very, very humble guy. He acknowledges the fact that the switch hitting and being able to fight the inside came from years of training, years of practice. It wasn't just something that was natural. He doesn't hide away from the fact that, you know, this wasn't just something he was able to do on the spot. This took a lot of work in the gym, and his training camps are legendary for the Spartan existence he lived. So it's things like that that led me to believe that if these two had fought at their peak, that Hagler would win. All roads lead to Rome in this regard. Then you look at Golovkin. I'm a big Golovkin fan. In my recent prediction video for the upcoming fight with Alvarez, I have him winning a tough battle in the late rounds, because he's just going to be too much man for Alvarez, and Golovkin is just too much man for most of the guys he fights at middleweight. You can, you know, cast aspersions on some of the guys he's fought, but that's not his fault. He's beaten everyone in front of him. Daniel Jacobs gave him a good run for his money, but Daniel Jacobs is a world level operator. But you also have to factor in Golovkin's amateur pedigree and his record. Currently, in 387 fights I think he's had at both professional and amateur level, he's never been knocked down, never been stopped. He's won world titles at amateur level, and he's also won a silver medal at the Olympic Games. So I think you have to factor that in as well, his longevity. And he is tough. Is he as tough as Hagler? Very, very rare you can say someone's as tough as Hagler. But I think Golovkin is one tough cookie, and his chin holds up. Now, where Hagler, I think, has a distinct advantage over Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin's ring generalship and his IQ is very good. His movement at times is methodical, but it's very systematic. It's very effective, and his punching again is very accurate. He's just a massive puncher, but Hagler just brings a little bit more head movement to the game, and I think that's where Hagler would edge it for me. Golovkin sometimes, Hagler, not that he relied on his chin, he trusted his chin. I think at times Golovkin relies on his chin, and that's why, too much for my liking, there's no head movement with Golovkin. He knows he can take the punch. Now maybe in the ring against Hagler being a big puncher, Golovkin might, you know, change his tune quite quickly and have to bring in head movement, because it's one thing being hit by Kell Brook, but it's another thing being hit by the likes of Marvin Hagler. But I think that's where Hagler would sneak it. He just has a bit more upper body movement, a lot more head movement, and I think that's where he was shit. It would, again, it's a fight where, you know, we can only dream. Imagine if it would have happened. I think it would have been a barn burner. How would it have ended? Hagler wins, I think, whatever way you cut it. I think it could be a la Hearns Hagler. It could be 3 or 4 rounds. If it goes the distance, Hagler wins it as well. I think the one chance Golovkin has is body punching. He's just a ferocious body puncher, and you get the right body punch at the right time, no one's going to be able to get back up from that. So I think I give Golovkin a chance, a small 10 to 15% chance of a late stoppage with a body punch. But if I'm putting my neck on the block, I'm going to say Hagler maybe around 10, 11 stoppage or a majority decision. Again, we can but dream. But until next time, goodbye.